Well, hi, Angelica.
Hi, Auntie.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? What's going on?
Estoy excelente.
Hi, Mira.
So I am, as you already know, I have already cornered your husband for a short interview. And so now it's your turn since I can tag team you all in the same house.
Right.
And so this is my opportunity to lift my nieces and nephews, and I want to extend it to other family members at some point, to show the world, so to speak, positive things, encouraging things, that we are up to as a family. And so I call this little series of videos that I've been making called to elevate the lifting. And
Okay.
so I'm going to ask you just a few questions, and if it's okay, I just want you to be open and honest for those who might be inspired by what you have to say. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay, great. Okay, so just to start, give us a little sense about your educational background. Let's start with college, of course. Your
Oh, I was
educational
gonna say,
background,
how far
and
back are we going? Okay.
no, just college, and where you are professionally right
Okay.
now.
I am Anjelica Carpenter Thompson. Um, my educational background, college career started at Florida State University, the Florida State University in Tallahassee, Florida, where I got my bachelor's in English and humanities. And then I went into teaching, started teaching high school Spanish at 22. Yep. And and then I went for my master's back at Florida State. I went back to Florida for my master's in 20 whenever, and kind of got interrupted but finished with my master's in social work, and I am currently a school social worker at a school for a K-12 that is amazing, that I love. And yeah, I've been doing this social work counseling thing for about since then. So
Okay.
about
But
6 years.
that's awesome. So I'll ask you a question, and it may be similar to something I asked your husband. However,
Okay.
because you're a different person, when did the bug hit you to go into social work, or why did you choose that particular profession?
I was teaching,
Mhm.
and I realized in my first year of teaching that I was doing a lot more counseling than I was teaching. Um, and I was talking to at the time, the school I was at, it was really small. We didn't have a counselor. So it was kind of like an all hands on deck kind of thing. So all the teachers were counselors too. And I kind of got my foot in the door on that. My mom at the time was also getting her master's, I believe, in social work.
Mhm.
And I was picking her brain and picking her books about what it was that she was doing, because I had no idea what it was and what I wanted to do. I thought I was done. And I realized that I did not want to continue teaching, but I wanted to do more. There was so much more that these kids needed than I could do in the classroom. So I knew that my purpose was better served outside of the classroom. So I went back. I was still a Florida citizen, so I took advantage of that and went to school at Florida State on that in-state tuition for grad school. Yeah. So yeah, because I had only come home. I didn't even transfer. I was teaching in Detroit, but I never transferred my license over yet. So
Ah,
yeah,
okay. That was a
yeah,
smart move.
yeah, it was. I contemplated it, but then yeah, it ended up being a better move at the end.
Okay. So you're
Mhm.
already in a profession where you're lifting other people, because we do live in a very crazy world. I don't think anything has changed since the dawn of man, right?
Mhm.
And so there's always a need that needs to be addressed, especially in our youth, because I know it seems cliche, but they really are the future. Where this world goes depends on how stable the next generation is coming up. I hope you
Right.
agree with that. So,
Absolutely.
so let me ask you this. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of social workers in the school system?
Um, what what aren't we needed for, right?
Mhm.
So I know I know social workers, not even just myself, school social workers that work with me and that my colleagues in other schools, and we are the glue most times to the schools, right? I call us the men and women in black, because we're usually putting out the fires before they even start, before anybody even sees the smoke. So we're usually the ones behind the scenes putting out all of the crises fires before anyone even knows that there's a crisis. And without us, that leaves. So some schools I know that do not have school social workers, or don't have or their school social workers don't have as many resources or as much as support as I get. They struggle with that, and you can tell from their school morale and their school populace that is struggling, right?
Yes.
So I think it is necessary to have those helping mental health professionals, because we're the people who are, we're not bound to any grades, right? Kids don't have to, they don't have to please us, because we don't have anything that they can get out of us except for empathy and support. So they know that we're the most unbiased people probably in the building, as far as for them to come to for support. And that's needed. And these kids don't have that. So school social workers, we rock. They need us.
Yes. Taking that same, staying in that same vein for just a moment, because school workers are needed at all levels. So let me ask you this: where do you think the impact is the greatest? Maybe the question is maybe too broad, but if you had to choose elementary, middle, or high school, where do you think? Okay, that's a tough question, but I'm
at all, because I'm at all three. And
you are currently working with all three.
I'm at all three. I'm K-12.
Oh,
so
that I didn't
on
know.
Three. Yeah, I'm on my whole camp. I'm at all three buildings for my camp.
Wow.
I bounce around and help out. But yeah, I can't choose. I would say elementary for sure needs early intervention, right? That's necessary as far as catching kids' struggles if they're having any type of like learning struggles or learning disabilities that we need to catch. That's always the best time to get that. So it's necessary there. It's necessary in middle school, because hormones are WTFing. So they need all the support they can get.
I know that's not funny. I didn't expect it.
Their hormones are. They're tiny people who are growing into big people, but they're still trapped in like baby mode and want to be babied and held and supported. But they're also like, I'm a big kid too, so leave me alone. So they need that support, right? A lot more too. So, and then you got the high schoolers who are like not quite middle school, but they're also kind of like, okay, well, everybody's kind of forgotten about me because they feel like I'm old enough to handle myself, when that's not the case. So I feel like the easy answer is supposed to be elementary, because we're supposed to take care of the younger ones, right? But for me, I would say all three. I think the need is equal. I don't think there's one needs more than the other. It needs to start at the younger, for sure, at elementary, but the high schoolers definitely need support with all of the changes and social, emotional, and home changes that are going on constantly, especially during this pandemic. Everybody needs all the support they can get, no matter the grade level.
Yeah. Are there social workers on the college level? That I've never had to reach out to one, but I just wonder if they're at the college level as well.
Mm-hmm. They have resources. They have therapists. They have counselors. They have social workers. They have all colleges have a mental health department and a counseling department. It's usually through the advising office they can get in touch with it.
Okay.
But yeah, advisors are also counselors.
So let me ask you this, because you said something earlier about a hiccup. I caught that. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, I know that, when you were in college in Florida, you were diagnosed with Guillain-Barre Syndrome. Mm-hmm. And so I know it affected you during your studies. And so you can talk a little bit about that. And also, did you have to reach out to, a social worker in your situation when you were going through your own health crisis?
a social worker.
Oh,
Multiple. That I was going, which is crazy. I was going through my master's in social work, and I was just finishing a clinical or internship at a hospital doing inpatient hospital social work when I got sick. So yes, in around October 2011, I got really, really, really sick. Kind of like a mystery diagnosis type of thing. And it put me down, put me in a wheelchair, affected my nerves, completely blocked all feeling and sensation in my hands and my legs. So at the time I just started class. September, August is when I got sick, but I didn't go to the hospital like to actually take care of it. May or may not have been my fault until September when it got really bad. So around that time though, I was still attending classes. When I was sick, I was still attending, like doing my Blackboard because it was before virtual times. So it was just, I would just have to complete an assignment. So my teachers never knew what was going on until I lost full motion in my hands. And then I let my school know. At that point, it was kind of like, okay, I got to tell somebody. And this might be a little bit worse than I think it is. So I did reach my mom, and I reached out to the school social worker at Florida State. At the hospital. My mom reached out to the social worker at Florida State. They helped us. The two of them helped us get all the paperwork we needed for me to come back to Michigan, because this happened while I was in Florida. Mm-hmm. So I needed, and I had family, my godparents, but I had no immediate family down there. So they had to get me home. So the social workers down there found a hospital, found the inpatient, inpatient and outpatient clinic for me. We decided on the outpatient, and they got all the medical equipment for my parents' home so that I didn't need to stay inpatient anywhere. So yeah, the social workers, they bust their tails trying to get me out of there, right? To get me the resources. This was my new norm, right? So a social worker is there to help you both grieve your past life, if this is your new norm, and also help you get accustomed to your new life and your new norm without while removing barriers that are in place. Wow. So they definitely helped remove the barriers. We had everything in the house. I had a full-fledged hospital room in the living room, or hospital suite. I remember. Yeah, I had a full hospital suite in the living room. And a curtain and everything. So it was, and I got home back to Michigan.
Well, amen to that.
Yeah, amen to that. My credits were saved for the most part. We got the refund for classes. Like Florida State was awesome on that. Thank you. They didn't try to like hold my parents' money hostage.
I think it's an awesome testimony. And I remember some things. I have a lot of strong memories about that time of your life. And to think about how, you being a social worker, you've gotten that calling. And mm-hmm. then, it became like a team of social workers now that I'm getting the story behind that, how social workers helped you to basically define your new life, to help you build a new life while you were going through it, because you didn't know if and when, that paralysis would end. Right. So it's an awesome testimony. And I do want to, I know that you're an advocate, I believe, aren't you, for Guillain-Barre?
Yeah, I'm a liaison for the northern region.
Okay. Yeah, and do they ask you to do any specific things? Or have they asked you doing things specific recently? Or,
I go visit when I have a pretty good relationship with hospitals and with or our foundation does. Mm-hmm. So if we get a new patient, I go to hospitals and give them pamphlets and leave my information, so that if they do get a patient who is okay with them contacting me, yes. The patients they'll give them my information, and the patients will contact me if there's a new GBS patient or CIDP patient. And I usually go up there and give them resources and kind of support them. I'm basically a social worker. I go up there and help them and let them see, the other side of it, I guess, because I wish I wish we knew someone who had been through it to know that I was gonna come out of it, right? Because we didn't know. For a little minute, we didn't know it was a little rocky. So I wanted to be that for someone else, for other people. So I go to the hospitals and I do Zoom calls and I send emails and all that jazz. But I'm a support for new patients and parents and kids of elderly people who do get it, and parents of kids who do get it, and the patients themselves. And I just I'm just a support for them. So if they need to call me and talk and just vent and scream and fuss about their treatments, then I just listen, and then I just let them yell and get it out, because sometimes that's all it takes, and then they feel better and they go do their treatments and everybody's happy. So sometimes you just need somebody who's been through it and who you can see, like, okay, this doesn't have to be my forever, and even if it is my forever, it doesn't have to suck.
Right. Wow, Anjelica. So see, and that's some things that, I don't think we've ever talked about, what you do in terms of your liaison work. So that's good information to share, because again, there's somebody who's out here now who perhaps might reach out to you just by looking at this video later and need some support services or some resources, and you can help them out. See, it's all about lifting. It's all about lifting. You've been lifted, and it's your calling to lift other people, which is great. So look, I told your husband, I know that you got your fingers in so many different things, that it's too hard to squeeze into this very short interview. So it's I know that I may have to have a part 2 with my nieces and nephews, because everybody's lives are complicated. There's not one person that I can think of in terms of my nieces and nephews who don't have so many things going on in their worlds. So in the time that we have, and I know it's going to be a real challenge for you, because you and your husband, you have entrepreneurial spirits. So this is your challenge, because we maybe have about 5 minutes or so here. I want you to think about, your businesses that you have created, because I know that you have the counselingunicorn.com. You have a website. You have learning materials. I mean, you have so many different things going on. So I want you to really, really think about this. So in about 5 minutes, tell us about your business ventures.
Oh, okay.
Part 1, because I know we might not be able to get it all in.
Oh no, I can fit it all. I can fit it all in.
All right. Ready?
Let's start with the
first. And go.
Okay. So first, we have the counselingunicorn.com, where your one-stop shop for all things educational. What don't we have on there? I got workbooks for kids. I have reading books that I've actually authored. I have books on there for kids. I have all of our, then I guess that's the part 2, night owl projects, right? So you'll also find our night owl projects on there. So that's all of my crafts. So the blankets, the shirts, you'll see all of the homemade craftiness, right, that I do in the middle of the night with my nocturnalness. What else do we do? Waters. We make fruit infused waters. We have naturally angelic fruit infused waters, and it's also a skin and healthcare line. Jeez, oh Pete. So, what don't we do? Gabby the kid has her own business. We have a kidpreneur, and she has wreaths.
What does she make?
Yep, I'm helping her build her portfolio, which is actually slightly better than most grown-ups I know, if I'm being honest. The kid gets money, so we're helping. I try to help a kid build it up, and we're got some other stuff coming up. We got some planners coming for kiddos. We got some oh man, I don't even want to say it. We got so much stuff. Like
I've seen them, and I've seen those personalized learning boards. Those are great.
Oh, the learning boards for early childhood education. So basically, if you need help with early childhood development and education, toddler busy work. If you need help with toddler busy work, that's where you can find. That's what you need from me. If you need shirts, you can come find me. If you need blankets, you can come find me. If you need any type of personalized anything, you can come find me. If you need learning materials for not just your little itty bitty ones, but for your ones all the way up to, I think I got them up to 6th grade. Oh, wow. So so far. So if you need learning materials for 6th grade, I was a teacher before I was a counselor. I'm a teacher at heart. That's just that's my nature, right? Like I'm an educator. So that's how I feed my teaching bug, is by making teaching materials for parents, to because learning starts at home. And before they can go to school and learn how to do anything, they got to have basics and the foundation. So I know some people don't need some help with that. And that's what I'm here for. We're not going to struggle, and we're not going to let these kids struggle. So that's what all these businesses are tailored to. And everything I do, 10% of it goes to the foundation. So if I need anything for, like when I'm running around for my patients, or if I'm going to go see someone, it usually goes towards that. Or if I have to give a family, if a family needs like a meal card while they're at the hospital, I help out with that, and my businesses help fund those. So a lot of the stuff that I do, it ends up going back because I run a color. Oh my goodness. And don't even get started at school. At school, I have so many organizations, and my groups have different fundraising activities and different social activities that they have to do. And they so I use some of the money for that. And we raise money for that. So we're doing stuff at school. Geez, a lot of the stuff, yeah, I do at school. What don't I do? That's the easier question to ask. I do appearances. I do live readings for any book. I read bedtime stories and on YouTube.
And shout that out too. So how can parents of young children find these stories? Where they
you can go on the YouTubes and type in the Counseling Unicorn, and I should pop up. It should pop up, or Unicorn Bedtime Tales. It should just automatically pop up for you, and you can see all of our bedtime stories. We'll get back into it. I guess I can shout this out too. I would like to start promoting lesser known authors. So I want to promote first time authors and all that jazz. So I want to take the bedtime stories in a different direction. We love reading. I want to keep reading. The kid loves reading, so I want to keep that going. But we want to get some books that, some people who don't we want people to learn new people, new authors, and get new bodies of work out there. So if anybody has any books, new children's books, send them straight my way, and let's talk so I can read them on my show.
Yeah. Okay. And what's your website again?
thecounselingunicorn.com.
Okay. And that's where they can reach you if they want to send an email. Okay.
I'm on Etsy. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. Everything is thecounselingunicorn.com.
Love it. Love it.
Yep.
So I told you. I think you may have made it.
I think I did. I said I got it in 5 minutes.
That's a gift. That's a gift.
I can do this.
There's so much going on. And so, like I told your husband, I said, all my nieces and nephews are doing some really wonderful things. And I think it's important that that we all lift each other up. We're in some hairy times. And if we're not, you haven't lived long enough.
Right.
And so to be able to know that there are resources out there, there's somebody you can relate to, has been there, done that, is going through, came out on the other side, and can help you, to be encouraging, to let you know that there is hope. And so in your specific profession with social work, and how it has been a springboard for all of the different business ventures that you mentioned, I think that this is definitely going to be helpful to a lot of families who are watching the video as well. So the what's coming up question, I can leave that alone because you've already covered that.
What's coming up? What's not coming up? I can't even tell y'all what's coming up because we gotta let the ink dry. So I can't even say what's coming up.
Well, that's why I said we might have to do a part 2. That's why I told your husband, maybe I'll have you guys sit side by side for another video soon. But so in parting, as I mentioned to Darian, I said, if I could ask you to, come up with something in 30 seconds, same thing, what words of encouragement, could you offer right now to someone or some families or some children who might be listening to this video at some point? What could you do? What could you say that could just kind of have them sit up a little bit taller, bring a smile to a face?
I will say this. no matter what you are going through, no matter what you see, your present is not your forever. And your future is always in your control.
I like it.
You have the power to make the life that you want. So make the life you love and love the life you live.
That is awesome.
The end.
Aw, that is awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time, and we definitely have to get back together again. So this is just a springboard to get us, dialoguing about some things, some awesome things that are going on my family tree. And so these videos will be posted onto this YouTube channel that I created. It's called Call to Elevate.
Okay.
Lifting. So I'm just posting the videos so that when it's recorded, once the video is uploaded, feel free to share it with the link to other individuals or your families, so that we can get the word out, about what you all are doing, and other members of our family as well. Thank you so much for your time. Muchas gracias.
No hay de nada, tía.
Sí, tenemos que hablar más en el futuro.
I see.
All right, I love you dearly.
All right, love you too, Auntie.
Go eat some of that chicken. Gabby said I can't have her chicken. She didn't want to eat it, and then she changed her mind.
That's her chicken. I'm
on my own. I gotta go find something to eat now.
Oh, you told Auntie she can't have no chicken? Oh,
she let me down. She put me down.
Yeah. She said yeah too. She's standing on that one.
That's okay. I'll find something to eat.
All right, Auntie. Love you.
All right, honey. Love you too.
All right, bye.